I want to talk to a person who has a small list of things they haven't done in weeks. Not the big things. The big things have excuses. The startup is hard. The body takes time. The career move requires planning. You can tell a clean story about why those aren't done yet. I'm talking about the small things. The text you keep meaning to send. The email that's been sitting in your inbox for 9 days. The doctor's appointment you've been about to book for 2 months. The 5 minute task that lives at the top of your list and has not moved since you wrote it down. You look at that list and you call yourself lazy. You're not lazy. I want to explain what's actually going on because I think the wrong diagnosis is keeping you stuck and the right one will set you free. Here's the surface answer everyone gives, and I want to dismiss it quickly so we can get to the real one. The surface answer is you're addicted to your phone. You don't have enough discipline. You need to wake up at 5 a.m. You need a planner. You need cold showers. You need to delete Instagram. The standard productivity advice you heard 100 times. None of it is wrong. None of it. But it's not also the answer. If it were the answer, you would have solved this years ago. You're a smart person. You read the books. You tried the systems. You've done the 30-day challenges. And the list is still there. So the answer is not more discipline. The answer is somewhere underneath. And I want to take you there. Here's the truth that the productivity industry will never ever tell you. The reason you're not doing the small things is not that it's hard, it's that doing the small thing forces you to face a specific feeling, and your brain has decided that not feeling that feeling is worth more than completing the task. Let me say that again, because that's the whole video. The reason you're avoiding the easy task is not that it's easy. It's that the easy task is a door, and behind the door is a feeling you don't want to feel. And as long as you don't open the door, the feeling stays manageable. Let me show you what I mean with examples. The text you keep meaning to send, why haven't you sent it? Not because typing is hard, because the moment you send it, you have to face whether the person responds the way you want them to. If you don't send it, the relationship stays in a state of potential. You can still imagine they care. You can still imagine they're thinking about you. The second you send the text, the potential collapses into a real answer, and the answer might not be what you want. So you don't send it, and you call yourself lazy. But you're not lazy. You're protecting yourself from a specific feeling, disappointment or rejection, or the confirmation that you matter less to them than they matter to you. The doctor's appointment you've been about to book, why haven't you booked it? Not because the booking is hard. It takes 90 seconds. You haven't booked it because the moment you sit in the waiting room, you have to face the possibility that the thing you've been feeling for the last 6 months is real. As long as you haven't gone, you can pretend it might be nothing. The second you're gone, the not knowing ends. And not knowing is a specific kind of comfort. It's not happiness, but it's manageable. Knowing is unmanageable until you've actually heard the answer. So you don't book it and you call yourself lazy. But you're not lazy. You're avoiding the moment where comfort becomes information. The email in your inbox. Why haven't you answered it? Probably because the email asks something of you, and answering it requires you commit to a position. Yes or no, available or not, interested or not. As long as the email sits unanswered, you don't have to be in anyone particular. You could still be the version who you might say yes or no. The second you reply, you need to take a stance. This doesn't make you lazy. You're avoiding the moment where you have to be a specific person with a specific opinion. Notice the pattern. In every case, the task itself is not the issue. The task is a doorway, and the doorway leads to a feeling, disappointment, information commitment, confrontation, loss, closure. The completion of a task is what triggers the feeling which you avoided completely. This is the part that changes everything once you see it. You're not bad at completing tasks. You're very good at protecting yourself. The avoidance is not a weakness. It's a survival mechanism that's gotten loud and now runs your life. Once you understand that, you can do something about it. But what you can't do and what's been failing you for years is throw more discipline at it. Because a disciplined approach treats the task as the problem. The task is not the problem. The feeling behind the task is the problem. And no amount of waking up at 5 a.m. or cold showers is going to address that feeling. So, here's the move, the actual one, the one that works once you understand what's happening. Step one, pick one small task that's been on your list for more than a week. Just one. Don't try to attack the whole list. Pick the one that bothers you the most when you think about it. Step two, before you try to do the task, ask yourself one question. What feeling am I avoiding by not doing this? Sit with it. The answer is almost available if you let yourself look. Disappointment, information, confrontation, embarrassment. The closing of a door you've been keeping open in your head. Step 3. Name the feeling out loud in writing. Specifically, not I'm scared. Specifically, I'm scared that if I send this text, she won't reply, and that will confirm something I've been trying not to know. That sentence, the real one. Step 4. And this is the move, this is the whole video. Decide that you would rather feel that feeling than keep avoiding it. Because here's the thing, you're already feeling it. The avoidance is not free. The unsent text is costing you energy every single day. The unbooked appointment is taking up a corner of your mind. The unanswered email in the background of every other thing you do. You think you're avoiding the feeling by not doing the task. You're not. You're paying the feeling in small daily installments instead of a big one upfront payment. The actual cost benefit when you do the math is not what you think. The avoidance is more expensive than doing it. It's just hidden across a longer period. So, when you sit with the feeling, when you name it, when you really understand what you're protecting yourself from, you realize that you're protecting yourself from something that's going to happen anyway, and that you've been paying the price for months without even realizing it. Then, do the task. Not because you found discipline, because you've decided the daily tax is worse than the one-time hit. Step 5, and this is the part nobody tells you except the feeling to show up. When you send a text and she doesn't reply, this disappointment is going to come. When you go to the doctor and they say it's something real, the information is going to land. When you reply to the email and commit to a position, the exposure is going to be uncomfortable. The feeling shows up. That's not a sign you did the wrong thing. That's the cost of the task you've been postponing. Sit with the feeling. Let it pass. It always passes. That's the part the avoidance brain doesn't believe. But it's true. Every feeling, no matter how heavy, moves through you and leaves you if you let it. The feelings that stay forever are the ones you spend years not letting yourself feel. I want you to understand something about what you've been carrying, the list you have, the 5 things, the 10 things that have been sitting there for weeks or months. That list is not a list of tasks, it is a list of small fears you have not let yourself feel. Each item represents a doorway you've been keeping closed because the room behind it has something you don't want to see. You can keep all those doors closed for the rest of your life. People do. They live in their whole lives with 3 or 4 big doors permanently shut. They walk around them, they build their identities around them, and on some level, they know what's behind every door, even though they never opened any of them. And knowing is what makes them tired. That's what burnout actually is. Most of the time, it's not how much work, it's not too many work, it's too many closed doors, talking up too much energy by making them closed. The lighter people you know, the ones who seem to move through life with less heaviness, are not lazier or luckier. They open more doors. They had the disappointments, the confrontations, the diagnosis, the conversations. They've paid up the front cost. And now they're not paying the daily tax. You can join them, not all at once, one door at a time. Pick one this week, the one that bothers you most when you think about it. Ask yourself what you're protecting yourself from. Name it out loud. Decide that you'd rather feel it once than keep paying it for daily. And then walk through that door straight up. The feeling will be there. Let it. It will pass. The room will be turning. And after a while, it will be less terrifying than the closed door. And you'll find that completing the task was never the point. Walking through the door was the point. The task was just the handle. You're not lazy. You never were. You've been protecting yourself from a list of small fears and calling it a character flaw. It isn't. It's just a list of doors. Open one.